Fuck's sake, man, so annoying.
This man's already said that it's called, but I don't even.
Right,
Do you agree
is
it is
that
called,
working now?
which is being alive, called by untrue. One of them, a foundation. Hello, we're talking about what is truth. Come sit down if you wish and engage. Pardon? Maybe next time. Here each week.
He's as bad as fucking Brian, isn't he? Eh?
So yeah, so what are you saying now?
We're trying to juice girls and that. So much for going live on all platforms.
A lot of different mice in there to interact with each other. Whirly things. Maybe that's always fun to get them all through to. None of them never play
Where's Do Not Disturb? There you go, that'll do. God, it is chilly now, isn't it?
Well, they didn't need love me because they've got to be friends and socialise, things to do. This one was isolated on his own. He must have been in his flat. He's lost his family.
Right, mine.
Now that's a great word.
Now, God bless you, son.
Here's something. Two things are different. Being human.
I'll tell you what Tony was shown to me the other day.
What have you seen the other day?
George showed me that in Alaska, when they were doing that opening of their parliament thing,
Yeah.
they were saying like open
Yeah,
prayer
the
to Satan.
Satan. Yeah, I've said that, yeah.
Obviously, English.
Well, yeah, no, yeah.
So not on WhatsApp. Don't believe it, and at the end she
Put
goes,
it on Telegram. Yeah, I know.
they're so blatant with it now.
Yeah, I know.
You need some bed.
But before, I mean, couldn't believe it.
That's what we need to start talking about.
And then when we get all these
Latest worship.
I don't
end
think
up going to Burger
a
King,
bedrock.
McDonald's, Coca-Cola and all that anyway, that makes our health worse, it makes us worse anyway. Governments, the United States, right, when you
So you were saying everyone has different love.
yeah, but I'm saying I don't want to forget as well.
Disagree with that.
So what I'm saying is,
I'm saying
governments as well,
that should everybody.
they're bigger,
Fucking
they're
Windows
also responsible.
situation.
And the voice of the woman saying the prayer to Satan, she sounded quite young.
Yeah, very young.
Like,
Very young.
sounded like a 25-year-old man.
Initial starting.
So that means, okay, we're in 2022, so she was born in,
Which is to feel one
let's
with.
just say she's 25.
Sounds younger than that. Sounds about 18, man, if that.
Yeah. Well, in that case, okay, let's just say she's 22.
Yeah.
So she was born just after 9/11. Satanic.
People in power want to know your love.
These kids don't even fucking know about 9/11, that's what I mean. Like, I watched that shit happen, mate. As an 11-year-old child, I knew instantly. It's weird, like, as a child and that, controlled demolitions ain't sort of a thing that children are really interested in, or is it really? I don't know, is it?
Well, I don't know. In London, they got rid of a load of buildings, didn't they? Ward-torn buildings. And they were, kids used to. My mother said that as a kid, she used to hang around in everywhere was a building site. Years after the war, so they used to play until it was camps.
Yeah, right.
So it depends what part of
Oh yeah, I suppose it's...
That's how that's a good,
I mean, there were
good
all these
example
little
of
bomb shelters they used to live in.
Lisa, we ain't going live on nothing else, mate. We're just on YouTube today. It's not worked. I couldn't get no chat up with the
Could it be down to that vehicle down there?
no, it's RTMP, whatever. It's because I'm streaming to 6 platforms at once. But it don't give you. Well, I need to speak to Ben because Ben knows how to do it because he's got. He has the different chat coming up. I think it's because I've got Odyssey on there as well. I think the rest of them would have done it. Apart from Odyssey.
I like Odyssey and BitChute. I can never find anything. Their search engine isn't anything like YouTube.
It's mad how that shit looks like it comes out the tail, not the engine, isn't it?
What you are as a human being, unless you are hurting somebody else, then that's why we have prison. So that comes down to
Alright, boys and girls, chaps and chapettes.
not be used as a weaponized. So I mean, disagree with that. Agree with that.
All the Spurs.
Excluding myself.
What do you mean?
Hey, I'm not on that spectrum.
Yes,
I'm not on the
Mick. How you
spectrum.
doing, mate?
I'm not on the spectrum of
What do you mean you ain't on the spectrum?
on the spectrum asking questions. That's what I'm not. No, you said.
You knew where I was, didn't you? Straight away.
See, that's the truth. Your actions, the truth is, do you really believe in love? Turns out,
James Brown over there. What? No, get away from me. What do you want? Fuck off. Looking very smart there, Georgie. You're welcome, wild mate.
I think that a lot of
Multiple conversations going on in this.
I know, it blows my fucking mind. I love it.
I do understand when he comes around, especially with the ear and the executive.
I wish you wouldn't do this in public, you make me blush.
Praising him.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I wish that also make it the opposite, really. They say, what are you talking about? Let's get camera around you. It's not meant to make it look like that. If I didn't mean it, I would say nothing.
so few people.
That's what makes me blush, mate. Eh? You know what I'm saying, don't you?
It's only because when he talks and stuff, he just throws this innocuous
Yes, but it's frozen.
No, nicely, he throws them in. I just interview these people. And you think he's in I used the questions, it was nice, you know.
Oh, cheers, chap.
They're very approachable.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I'm seeing it for bollocks, mate. No, they both blow smoke up your arse when you're morning on later.
Particularly since you've curtailed the swearing.
Yeah.
Really.
Also, the actual outfit.
Yeah, look at this.
And the haircut and the glasses and the microphone. Obviously, it makes you a target as well.
Oh, yeah.
But this does.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah,
sir.
Nice piece of thickness.
Oh, yeah, she's an expensive one. Yeah, this is alright. Thank Georgie for that. Georgie donated that to the channel.
Always talk to people.
That's Georgie's, mate. I bought the windshield cover.
Shouting to the sky.
Green,
Green, yeah.
the green agenda.
Yeah, I've got my own green agenda though, ain't I?
It's a bit like Russia Today, they're green. RT. No longer with us.
I think it's how we
Don't make no sense. It don't. Right, bring it back
And
up.
then we've got the Ukraine stuff, and we've got the climate agenda. And he keeps showing me.
Yeah.
Trying to get the Ebola
I
thing
think what people need to start talking about and thinking about is this fourth industrial revolution. All the cashiers and all the lorry drivers are about to lose their fucking jobs. Has anyone been briefed about this? You know, has anyone had a conversation about
The
this?
Extinction Rebellion, you were asking those people about the question.
Yeah, they don't know.
One, oh, I break him, I like him.
Yeah, that Yuval Harari. She likes the one that's calling us all useless fucking eaters. Program hackable humans. Hackable animals. Free will is no longer.
Nobody asked him. That's the thing. With this New World Order thing, nobody asked us.
Exactly. People that think they know best, isn't it always? I want to get that Jewish fellow who's here, man. The Zionist fucker. Zionist cunt, I want to get him.
You obviously had to get it off the arse first.
No, I want to talk to him about why people are saying. How can you say that Zionism's a right to go on about the Balfour Declaration and that's a right-wing conspiracy theory about Zionism being involved with the Rothschild dynasty when the fucking letter's addressed to Rothschild?
good viewing.
Oh, I don't know about that. I would just like to know. I'd like him to do the maths for me. If he's going down that fucking thing.
I knew. Oh, it's you that would like you wearing it.
My name is Gus. I come with 2-year guarantee. Take to the rest. But it expires in 2 years' time.
You're a funny man, mate. Alright, Eve, Joe, John.
Wow.
It's not just a circle of deck chairs, mate. There's fucking chess tables about. You know? What's it all about? Regulate globalism. See it there? Looks like an interesting bit of literature.
Unless it's rigged. The Wheel of Pain, I think, we always want to go to the country.
I'm here at 2. So, yeah, you're saying?
Where's Fabio today?
I don't know, being lazy. He reckons he was out doing outreach in Stratford yesterday, so he's probably that's what he likes to do.
Hang on. Well, expose yourself as is this a quote or your interpretation of the sentence? Word. Well, that's exactly what I said.
Like on the weekend.
Oh, here we go.
No, just down at the Kensington Garden in the morning.
I try and see good in everyone. You see that, George? I try and see good in everyone.
Oh, I've got your card. What am I on about? Alright, I'm done, and I'll send you the
We're going to see some nutters talk. Yeah, Lisa, we're not going live on the rest of them.
There's a little data thing from Joey. So Joe, my pal Joe. This is one for Joey. It's just called Epidemic Observation Study there, mate.
What's that?
That's
Is
called
that
Israel.
vaccine?
Palestine's right next to it, and that's the vaccine uptake in Israel. It's a lot. I think it's 30% there, and it's about 89% Israel. And there's the vaccine. You can see it by the
Well, that's how many people took it.
That's how many people now have COVID in Israel. But
But they've got English data. I seen some English data the other day about fucking. I don't know if it's safe to say it on this. But I seen some English data the other day. Fucking wild, man.
which is, in a way, exactly what
They haven't stopped. They haven't stopped. It just depends where you go.
They still believe the virus.
Alright, Joe.
They still believe the virus. Still variant after variant after variant after
Love the scooter, not mine. Not as beautiful or strong as well designed as yours.
Facial recognition up here, boys.
Yeah, I can still travel thereabouts. So yeah, so we're talking about truth and justice.
Oh yeah, okay.
And we're having a really good discussion here about how he was told by an official that if you say freedom and love in a court of law, you're regarded as the enemy of the state.
Yeah, I was told that by a lawyer.
Yeah.
And that completely confirms.
Every time I use that, you say love and freedom in court would go in your favour. Shows you if they're in person, if they're about. But they actually said word for word, if you say that, you expose yourself as the enemy. These people do not understand love and freedom.
No, they do understand. You're wrong. They do understand. What they understand is how it's a threat to the people in charge. We live in a Christian society, and it's a threat to the Christian society to people experiencing love and freedom on an individual basis, whether that's through spirituality or just rationality.
Yeah, you saying that the other day? You saying that? Georgie, can you check the audio for me? Why are you doing all that sort of
They do understand. Absolutely understand. And that's why they're so scared. You as an individual experiencing love and freedom that isn't already prescripted, already written down as your limits and
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's a fucking fake.
Like Christianity, and just look how they treat the gay community. How is that anyway on any level to use the word love and freedom?
What's that audio like?
The veil is off, and it's just hatred.
1 2 1 2.
The Christian who does the hate doesn't know why. Again, it's like they've just been told.
Is the audio okay?
You know, a lot of people have gone on Mexico because there are no regulations. You don't have to be vaccinated, you don't have to be concerned.
It's so fucking sneaky, mate, on crossbikes.
Sean said, yeah, he's been back there for a week on that.
Greatest way of
I've got the
expressing
time
truth,
from
love,
last Sunday.
freedom.
Last Sunday, it was all day.
Sweet, thank you, boys, girls.
Divide is the very definition of divide, which has spanned centuries, if not
Apparently so.
eons.
I've been there, I'm just
Eons.
right now on a in a social
Is it 1,000?
context, I
Anyway,
look like
so
I'm
that's how
okay, but I'm
Christianity
still suffering from
determines
depression.
truth.
Oh, no, it isn't.
Reasons.
How does Christianity define truth then? You use faith.
I thought we was in the pantomime. No, sorry.
Your life is permanently a pantomime.
Exactly that.
My job is to try and pull you back from that.
Go on then. Here's a dose of reality quickly.
Pardon?
Here's a quick dose of reality.
Quick dose of reality. Here we go.
30 seconds you got.
How do you define truth?
Trust me.
Well, we're back here again.
Yeah, we wasn't recording last time.
Oh, hang on, I'm not recording this time, really.
Not recording this time.
I've only got one audio jack, mate. I don't know what to do. How do you define truth? You can't even hear me.
All right, you've had it. You've said it already then.
How do you define truth?
You use faith to define truth.
That's what I said to you earlier.
Yeah, that's why I'm repeating that. And my argument against that is
Well, no, first things first, I said it's subjective, didn't I, before I made the argument?
subjective. Yes, you also said that.
Yeah. And then I went on to make the argument about Jesus Christ, our Lord and Saviour, being the truth.
Yeah, and you then back that up with the term faith.
Amen.
And I'm saying faith is just a way of making you a political police officer in our everyday community.
So you want me to let you get up to Sodom and be an absolute sodomite and not say nothing and hold no opinion of it? That's what you're saying then?
Now what I'm saying is, you're used as a political police officer in our community,
Yeah.
and you don't question the authority which is giving
It's
you power.
moral authority, isn't
Pardon?
it? It's moral authority.
Yeah, they're giving you the moral authority
Who?
to be a police officer. Religious
It comes,
leaders.
no, not religious leaders, it comes from God.
Yes, and you're religious leaders.
No, there is no fucking religious leader. Who are you talking to?
You're a religious
no,
leader.
I'm not religious.
Talks to
It's
God.
not about a religion. Christianity is not a religion, my bro. It's a relationship between you and God.
So your priest
What are you fucking on about?
Your priest interprets what God says.
Oh my goodness gracious. Someone turn this fucking idiot off.
What is definition of repressing or hatred another human
What,
being?
you're spieling to the wrong geezer. You didn't know, Dust. No.
And you are a great example of what I'm talking about.
Why? Because I don't want you running around fucking fiddling with children. I got a problem, yeah, with sodomy and degeneracy because they're trying to normalise and desensitise. Yeah, and the truth is they're trying to desensitise you to the idea of minor attracted persons and paedophilia. That's the truth. That's where we're at.
So are you aware that the Christian Church rapes children? Where's
What
the
is
truth
all
in
this
that?
fucking finger pointing and that? Do you even know what a church is?
You mentioned you want to stop.
What is a
paedophilia.
church? What's a church? What is
I
a church?
sincerely doubt
What's the Christian
that is
church?
the actual intent of your behaviour, because Christianity has
We can't see that.
Christianity has horrifically abused children, and at no
Right.
stage were they
Christianity?
ever
not
put in
Christianity,
prison.
Is that the Roman Catholic Church or Christian
religious
Church?
leaders.
What? And I've just told you it's not about religion, you fucking sigh.
Religious leaders.
What
One
would
of
Jesus
these.
say to those people?
Pardon?
I'm sorry.
From your understanding
Aaron.
of Christianity,
He's
what
beyond
would
the
Jesus,
fucking help,
the
though.
historical Jesus,
Well,
you know, what would he say to those people?
He's trying to fucking warm me up, is the way you operate.
Answer.
What I'm saying-
What would Jesus say to them? The people that abuse children.
No, no.
We've got this individual here talking about paedophilia, which is obviously terrible and wrong. But what he doesn't really want to address is the very organisation which gives him his...
What organisation?
Organisation.
Thank you, James.
What organised church are you in?
What do you mean Christianity?
It's not an organisation. Jim, what are you a member of any organisation?
No!
Okay, that's, you hear this?
No, he doesn't want to hear it. He's ignorant.
I guess we can just agree that in any sect, any religion, any culture...
Religion's no good.
No, yeah, there's darkness in it and there's lightness in it.
Yeah.
And it's based on the individual. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah, no, it's about not being... Religion's not a good thing. Religion's not a good thing. You're looking at this whole...
God, not religion.
Yeah, this whole thing, the way that you're looking at it is like the way that people anthropomorphise God. God's not what you think. Like, this religion is not what you think.
In religious societies.
What, in Islam maybe?
No.
You fucking nutter.
Any religious
What
society.
are you on about?
Where God is determined as
So
the
where
absolute
do- where-
truth. And it's the people that do the paedophilia
Right.
that say their actions are done in the name of God.
Right.
And therefore they are not
I'm
wrong,
not going to try and
because they are
argue.
above the
Listen,
law.
listen,
So
I'm
what
not...
religion or what belief says that paedophilia is done in the name of
Yeah,
God?
yeah.
They don't openly
Oh
say
my
that.
fucking word.
It's something they do behind the back, because what they will do, instead of putting a priest in prison, what they'll do is say, yeah, you've raped enough children here.
He condemns that. I condemn
Yeah, no,
that.
I'm answering your question. They've raped enough children here.
But you're the
Now
one
let's move
arguing
on- let's
for the
move
rights
on
of
to
pedophiles.
sexual-
You're the one arguing for the rights of pedophiles.
I believe paedophilia and abuse of children happens in all religions, in all sects. It's the evil person within the sects, and the sects.
Yeah.
So it happens, but across the board. I'm Jewish, and I know it happens in the Jewish...
And in the Jewish community
but it
as
happens
well.
in all communities, so religion has nothing to do with it. It's dark people within hiding behind the religion in order to do the disgusting things they do.
Religion has something powerful behind it, because religion
Yeah,
doesn't
the
use the
devil.
law of the land, which says paedophilia is bad, and therefore you can arrest.
It's not
and
religion, it's sick people within a religion.
What
It's
are
not
you
the
on
religion, it's
about?
the people.
You're just fucking
Always
confused
within
us,
the house.
man.
We know that sick people exist. We all agree on that.
Yes.
But we need a legal system to put sick people into
The
prison.
whole legal system is tainted and disgusting. We need to recreate the whole system. We need to come together as people and take the system down, because the system's not for the
But the
people.
religious
Hey, man.
people create the legal system.
Not only the religious people. So
Back in
because
the day, nowadays the religious leaders have to do as the agenda says, as the agenda
we have
30
the Crown
says.
Court in this country.
I can't speak much about that.
What are you on about?
Which is a religious organisation.
Who?
When people try to create laws, religious leaders just use whatever rhetoric they have in their mind to try and destroy people using
But all leaders,
making
it's
laws.
not religious or whatever. It's people up there couldn't give a shit about us, and they do what they
And
want to
the
control us.
only
I mean,
people,
COVID's a perfect
and the
example.
only people are up there allowed up there are religious people.
Some are, and
No,
some are not.
throughout all history, if you wish not to be religious and engage in a political understanding of reality, you are not allowed to exist.
Chat hates you, by the way.
Only religious people are allowed to create the
Oh,
rules.
boys, seen him. He waves to the boys.
So yeah. We've only ever
Celebrity
lived
chat.
in a religious society.
Celebrity
We've only
filth.
ever had religious leaders determining what's right and
Oh,
wrong,
that's
and they've determined that paedophilia is fine.
Anyone interested in talking
I don't know about that. I
Pardon?
don't know about that.
They
They
haven't-
allow it.
Name me a
It
society
definitely
where.
happens and they allow it, but I
Name
don't...
me a society that hasn't been religious.
Society is the whole... Listen, the whole system is flawed. From
The whole
get-go,
system
from the
is
way
built by
banks-
religion.
Banks are built from the way COVID is, from the way that they allow disgusting things to happen. The system is
Oh,
flawed.
mate.
I think we can all agree on that, can we?
We've
that the one where he
only
thinks he's smart and he's
ever lived
actually
in
a
a
thick
religious society. The only thing you're complaining about and upset about is religious leaders who have literally determined that society is wrong.
Dillian White, like,
as a
smack
higher.
down last
But
night, boy.
the system is wrong. But the system was built by religious leaders.
You're smoking the good stuff. I can do all the good stuff being smoked, and that's what I want to do. Good luck. Huh? You know what? I wish. I can't. Not good enough to even like sit here and challenge you. I play poker, but I want to become better at chess. I know it's a fucking game. I should become better at it. So I'm on my way
It's
now to play
correct that
some poker.
religious organisations like the Catholic Church determine the law for marriage. Young girls can be as young as 12, 13. I know, but I don't know why you're just
I wish
picking
all
on
love
one
and
religion
health and connection
when all the
and
other
all the good
religions
stuff.
are doing exactly the same thing. What's the legal age of marriage in the Vatican for a child? Well, maybe you should look that up. Maybe you should look that up. And you will. So religions are the people that create the bedrock of horrific religious leaders create the bedrock of horrific reality that we have to experience. And then it's the Christians that come here that because they have faith in their religious belief, they won't question the genocide and horror that they are inadvertently contributing and building and supporting. Yeah, the police don't have any. Sorry.
So the Tory MP recently called up and stopped the
Anti-natalist over here. All these crazy numbers.
Had it not been monitored and it was across the Western market, across the campaign, that would have been. Well, the point I'm making, he's lost his job and his livelihood and everything, and a gay MP was defending him, but he withdrew the defence. Crispin Blunt, conservative, gay, Tory for right.
Anyway, the point is, if you break the law, you have to be punished, correct?
One comparison for
So,
I think a lot of them should be in prison.
it's more than a parking fine. It's not the same as a parking fine.
our conversation started from the root of what is truth. And the part why I brought religion into it, because we're talking about this man's sign here, love and freedom. And his idea of love and freedom, I believe, is true.
What is that all about?
And I was saying why Christianity, the leaders, pervert these words. And the Christians justify the hatred of the gay community. So that's how you know that Christians don't believe love and freedom. That's not true. The Christians would admit.
As a gay man, I don't have much
Good. As a gay man, I'm glad that you're
times are changing. Yes, they are. There are 35 mainly Christian countries. Listen,
I am listening. I can do two things at once.
35
This guy here, no, this guy here, he's like the third best in the whole park.
What is the step forward?
And it should be enshrined in the law, human rights of the gay community. Just because of casual. No, there's very difference between allowing gay marriage to happen and enshrining a human law in your country about the gay community.
Well, I think Nelson Mandela enshrined it in South African law, the rights of gay people.
Did he? We don't know. We just said the same thing. It sounds unlikely.
Not research treaty, when I got the fountain of knowledge.
I'm just inquiring whether your knowledge is actually
Well, when I've got a little thing on the stand like that, I think it's rich coming from you.
Did Nelson Mandela
Coming from you. If you don't, nobody knows the truth. I've been searching for it for the past 75 years.
So just to clarify, did Nelson Mandela make gay marriage legal?
Probably did while he was president. Probably did. So what? You're not going to look it up, are you? Why do you think Nelson Mandela is the first photo that I've taken in my collection? Why do you think he's top of the poll? Why do you think that?
Is gay marriage legal in South Africa?
Why do you think I've got him top of my album?
No. Oh, literally.
Why?
I was a good beginner and I got told that like an hour.
Am I right? Am I wrong?
It's been legal since 2006.
It's on my list of 35 things to be done this year.
So, as I said, that's not the point, because I know that in South Africa, that the gay community is still repressed, and
It's the same forevermore. It'll never be.
well, you see, I don't tend to give up as easily as you do.
I haven't given up the fact.
You just said gay hatred is
I
normal.
got 2 letters from 2 archbishops, 2 letters from bishops.
You have just declared that gay hatred is normal. I'm proposing the simple truth that the only reason that people hate the gay community is because they're educated by the Christian church to hate the gay community.
Had something to do with it.
Something. They have everything to do with it.
Everything.
No, they have everything.
Prejudice.
Everything.
I don't like going with prostitutes. In fact, I've never been with a prostitute.
Hatred, we're not born with hatred. We are born not to see it. As children, we don't see colour.
South Africa, 30th of November 2006.
Hatred has to be educated.
30th of November 2006.
And what is the best organisation in the world for educating our children? The Christian church, the religious church.
How many gay MPs do you think there are amongst this collective?
Religious.
How many gay MPs?
Religious education teaches us to hate the gay community. Therefore, stems hatred of the gay community and repression. We need to
You always
stop.
come up with this one as a totem pole. It's
We
not
always-
just
we
because
need-
of Leeds. You choose this subject.
We need
not
to
because
stop.
of Leeds.
We need to stop the church from free willing educating children to hate human rights. This is where it comes back to human rights.
Right, boys, we're going to go and see something interesting. Bob looks like he's getting reprimanded by the filth.
I'm not getting married. When your whole
So we're going to go and find out what's going on.
Part of the battle.
Yes, I don't deny.
Right, sweet.
Yeah, there's a deed.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, shut up, Dust. See you in a little bit. Yeah, all right, Dust, you fucking nose. Let's go and see what fucking old Bobby and fucking the uncle's up to. Put it this way.
And to be honest, I thought you finished as well, because then we got interrupted by everyone else. So let him finish and then allow. But I did think you finished as well. Guys, can you go away, please? We're trying to
No.
like adults.
Definitely not.
Sorry?
Why?
Sorry?
Why? Watch her.
Come on.
What do you mean, come on?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know why you're touching my arm for?
Alright.
Why are you doing all this? Stop showing up the camera.
Showing off, I'd rather don't.
Don't touch it. You're not allowed to do that.
What's been going on? I don't know.
Yeah, show me where.
Not allowed to touch it, are you? The rapport ain't that great.
Give the people relevant people to know what's going on.
Guys, and just to make you aware, for 3 o'clock, if you have a real
His job's literally to try and get in our way, boys.
It's not that interesting, is it?
Well, it's not that interesting. Why are you trying to prevent me from recording it then? If it's not that interesting. What sort of sense does that make? This is actually ridiculous. Look, if I stand next to the other brother, we don't want the roly-poly-olies things on the thing.
But the thing is, today there are no that many speakers. And he was already speaking with one of the new Muslims and Europeans. Okay? And he was insulting.
He's insulting.
He was being recorded by different now, I put my over there. And when he's talking, alright, what he done was, he just stepped on my stool, alright, when he stepped on my stool, I said, he has to ask my permission, alright, he didn't ask my permission, he just stepped on the stool, so I said,
Where's my vapey thing?
so what did he do? He punched me here, alright, and it will be on some of the cameras at least, okay, he pushed me, how he treated
Why have they just come up here like that?
and that's what I'm telling you, I'm not right. There must be some cameras. Some of the people who said
Who is it?
they are good Christians.
Absolutely insane.
For example, when I come here to speak, I don't push you. Alright? I don't use insulting language.
Why was he just getting in my way and now he's gone? Like, I'm here now. What are you going to do?
Long time before him, right? Why is it when he's speaking, he's also very aggressive? Yes, when he stepped on my feet, and I
Look how good, mate.
stepped on my feet, alright, and he touched me. What was that for? Alright? So, some of the people who do that, they are banned. 6 months, 1 year. He should be banned as well. Because the law is the same. And I myself, I believe in the English law. I've studied part of the English law, and I also went in the 70s on Adway Road, applied for the police. Went right up to the last 6 or 7 before they told me, oh, just do your job.
Juice. Here's the juicy bit. Here comes the juicy bit.
This gentleman went to stand on here and he pushed him to move this away. I was here and then
Grass, we got a grass.
all pushing and I got in between. Now I'm 76 years old and I want law and order and I don't want your aggressiveness and I wouldn't stand up for any aggressiveness for you. This is a place for debate, not pushing.
Amen.
There are men there who were shouting over him and it got very heated, but I got in between them. Now the things to listen to me, please, be courteous. Listen, please, they've given me chance to speak. The thing to do now is just call it quits and just go away and leave it, right? Because I'm a witness that you
It's totally fun.
Okay. Can I say something?
Sorry, I'm in a daze. No.
It's all fucking happening here, boys. Got it all going on here.
What about those others who were witnesses? That old guy came. What about those others? They went away.
Hold on, look, I'm getting mixed up now. I'm getting mixed
How's it, mate? They all grassed each other up. Here, why are you acting like that for the camera? Hey?
It's a rude, it's not true.
What do you mean it's not true? Everyone's just witnessed you acting the way you acted.
I didn't know what
You
was going
couldn't.
on.
What? What do you think I'm here to do? Why do you keep doing that? He keeps touching me. Listen, look, you're flinging your hands he's got. Right, can you just listen to me for 1 second, please? But you just turned your back as soon as I said that. Right. What have I come here to do?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Have a good time, I imagine.
Have a good time.
Have a good time all of the time.
What's an absolute nose, mate? I get proper harassment up here, mate. Don't I? I get different sorts of harassment up here, mate. They're dirty cunts. What the fuck I'm here to do, you cunt? Like, he knows what I come here to do. I ain't come to fucking... I come to point the camera at people, mate. Oh, here's one, he don't like me. He's got his little tassels here. Let's have a listen. His tassels. His t-shirt.
Afternoon, folks.
No, no.
I don't need that anymore.
You didn't need it in the first place.
So, afternoon.
people from scientific...
Let's debate democratically.
And you do your own thing. We're going to people
If he's a Zionist, does that automatically make him a fascist?
So, Israel and Palestine. Ever take up the Israeli offer to negotiate a peace deal with Israel.
Why is he getting loud? And then
I want the Palestinians to go and negotiate with Israel and get two states. Palestinian state, predominantly Palestinian. Israel, predominantly Jewish, but there's 2 million Arabs already
You say too many or 2 million?
and they can both live happily ever after. Wouldn't that be nice? Who'd be against that? Sadly, there's a lot of Palestinians who are against that. They don't want 2 states. They want 1 state, just an Arab Muslim state.
This has been the line since 1947.
The biggest party in Palestine is called Hamas. In their charter, they call for the destruction of Israel and the killing of Jews. It's in the charter of Hamas. And why don't you go and find someone else to speak? So Hamas don't want 2 states. They want 1 state with Sharia law under Hamas. It's in their charter for those smart enough to read their charter, which is available on the internet.
They abandoned it in 1995.
And do you know what? Ever since then, they've been firing missiles at civilian cities in Israel.
Stop appropriating my history, D-Street, mate. That's our fault, mate.
Into Israel. And in Israel, it's a normal, multi-democracy country.
And who murdered Yitzhak Rabin?
Not only that, in Israel, Arabs have got the vote, equal rights to Jews, and they love it there. They could go into the Palestinian areas if they wanted to. They were told, if you want to, we can recall the
let him have
borders,
it.
and you can be under Palestinian rule. And they said, no, we don't want to be under Palestinian rule. Just look what Hamas and Fatah are like. They've created a backward, awful society. They'd rather live in Israel with a healthcare system, pensions, lots of well-paid jobs.
Why don't you go and live there with all
Of course they want
How
to
long
live in
for?
Israel. And you know, Arabs, Christians, they don't have to do military service, they're exempt.
Praise the
But about a
Lord!
quarter of them choose to, because they see what it's like for Christians in the neighbouring countries and other minorities in neighbouring countries, and Christian Arabs are in larger numbers joining the Israeli army. And there are Arabs in the Israeli parliament, in the Israeli police force. All the street signs are written in Hebrew and Arabic. All the kinds of banknotes are in Hebrew and Arabic. Equality is written into the Israeli law.
Hey, you brother.
So yes, Israeli Arabs, they love it there. I don't blame them. And you know,
What was his point?
Palestinians,
What are you doing here,
are
mate?
trying to marry Israeli Arabs so they can emigrate to Israel.
Do you want some?
I don't blame them.
You don't blame them. You're losing them. You're losing them. Look, get him. He's off,
never
mate.
starts a war ever. Every time Israel's
What have you
attacked,
done? Look, everyone's off.
Israel always
Look. He's not want to fuck off and all. I feel too like we only can't listen to him.
Created by the United Nations.
Everyone's off, mate. Everyone's off.
Attacked the newly
You
created
lost
Jewish
them.
state.
You lost them.
And the Arabs couldn't destroy Israel. Israel won.
You lost them.
In 1967, 6 Arab armies invaded Israel.
Yeah, should we go and see what else is going on? It's fucking.
This is interesting. This is Afghanistan. This is something we're talking about.
Oh, what's this NATO flag over here? What's this? Interesting. Who's doing that? Oh, someone's cut them up.
Yeah. Years Russian occupation, 20 years USA and 50 NATO members.
And then a phone number. can't see that, boys. I'm going to zoom into the phone number for you. It's definitely a phone number. Crazy stuff out here. So it's pretty boring over here.
Bloody naughty boy.
Are you going to go on then?
Where you been, man?
Chilling, mate.
Where you been?
Home. Chilling. How you doing? All right?
What, you are broke or what?
What?
You are broke?
What do you mean broke?
Why you come back?
Yeah, skint, mate, yeah.
What is your channel? Naughty, very naughty channel.
What channel are you?
Very naughty, very naughty.
Best channel, good channel. Take piss channel. This one.
Correct, not political.
Yes, mate.
Oh, I never heard of it.
Never heard of it. No,
Why
no.
don't do business card, man? Why don't do business card and give it to me?
I will get business card. Nearly. I got microphone. It's nearly business card. Now look, very professional, no?
Yeah, it's good, it's good.
It's got a green thing.
Yeah. But the thing, you know, the ones you clip is easier.
Yeah, it is the clip.
That's all you need, bro. You don't need that thing.
Yeah, but it's look, when you're speaking to people, if you're speaking to people with camera, yeah, they're like, and you go like that, and they go,
You
oh!
need to buy one for you, Uncle, this one. Uncle, what are you
Say, say, big up, correct, not political. Come on.
Well, you gain attention already, look, from this thing.
Come on, Uncle.
The owner of this channel,
yes,
correct, is not political.
Yes.
He is very, very naughty boy. And he been missing for 2 years.
No.
I don't know why he come back. Is he skinned or?
He's skinned.
So please subscribe.
Yes.
And donate. And donate. and the bottom of the channel, go and fund them.
Yes, Uncle.
Make it correct.
Yes. Yes.
Correct,
Yes.
Are you correctly?
Come on.
Are you politically correct?
No, I'm politically incorrect, aren't I? Huh? Respect. Safe. Right, well that was exciting, boys. Now we're gonna go for a swifty.
No, we got our own camera, man, at last.
What?
We got our own camera.
You have?
My friend.
You got a channel? You ain't got a channel. Huh?
He just start one,
No, you're lying.
United!
Yeah, he just start one.
Plug it then. This one. Tell him. Well, what, you both... Tell him.
If you want to know about real Islam,
This is what they all say up here, though.
Muslim United.
Just search Uncle Omar Speaker's Corner.
Uncle Omar Speaker's
Muslim
Corner.
United. This is the real Islam. We are not supported by Saudi. We are not supported by Emirati or Qatari. We are not supported by MI, any number after that. This is the real McCoy.
Yeah, respect.
If you search for the truth, come along.
Safe, Uncle Omar. Funny cunt. He's got his own channel. Look. He's got another Jew next to him now. See what...
Make peace with God, make peace with Israel, and you'll have a great life. You've got a life of misery ahead of you. Generation after generation.
This motherfucker looks like Zelensky, cunt.
First attack on Israel. Israel's got better and better than they are.
It's, yeah.
Trying to become a hellhole to live in. Except for those out Muslims who decided to make peace with Israel.
Yes, Eric. Some shouting going on over here.
Man creates religion. Man have to worship God. Man creates different religions to worship God. When did God become a religion? Man made that.
Hey,
God
Ben.
was before religion. Was God not before man? So how can God be a religion? You see them hypocrites. The two of them are arguing. No reason.
Hallelujah. There we go. There's another one. There's another one. Let's listen to this cunt then for a minute. Look at this. It's the reverse messianic.
I said, look, to be honest with you, God, I am boss of my life. I'm self-employed,
Testimonying up.
But from here on in, I don't really know what it means to you be boss.
Here's that
When I
testimony.
did that, Spirit of God came in, and I became the real deal.
Get out of the way, Rog, man.
The real deal. The real deal. The deal is a covenant. You've got the old covenant, you've got the new covenant.
It's been weird. That thing's gone down anyway, isn't it?
I've debated professors and students at
Yes.
university. They believe in the Big Bang and macro evolution. I believe in the big God, the intelligent designer. DNA. Do you know what DNA stands for? It stands for the National Dyslexic Association. So we've got a sense of, well, some of us have got a sense of humour. Now, animals don't. They don't get jokes. They don't get dressed. They don't get music. We are not animals. We're human beings. We have the ability to read. Seek and you will find, Jesus said. Right, yeah, see it. Seek and you will find.
She said I'm a beast.
Don't seek like him. He ain't going to find nothing.
She says I'm very beastly.
The guy's a crazy perv. He doesn't even know who he is. He doesn't know where he's going. He doesn't know why he's here. This is the book you can trust. This is the book you can trust. He thinks it's a metaphor because he's Catholic. He's a Catholic. Well, I think a little bit more than it, because what he does, he's indoctrinated. But me personally, I'm educated. Why? Because I look. Well, you know.
Elementary.
I always weigh up for and against. Should I get a Rolex watch? Well, the budget ain't going to stretch to that, so no, I'll get a little 30 quid. So that's what I do. So you weigh it up, and I've weighed up Catholicism, Jehovah's Witness, Mormon, Orthodox, the whole lot. It's all a load of BS. Because I've read the book, and in the book it says there's a clever God who made a man and a woman. There aren't 112 genders, like the psychos teaching the little 4-year-olds today. There's two. It's called a man and a woman. And he said, I've created this thing called sex. You like it, have a good time, and have loads of kids. Guess what? That's what they did. They had a choice. To believe or not believe. What did they do? They got deceived. They didn't believe, they got deceived. Do I believe this is that God made a real man and woman? And you know what? The most incredible thing in the universe is between your ears. It's called a brain. That doesn't come from a big bang. It comes from a big, intelligent designer. Of course he can make Adam and Eve. He didn't make Adam and Steve. He made Adam and Eve. And they had babies. Do I believe the Bible is accurate, written by prophets, kings, super intelligent, courageous warriors like Melech David, King David, and I'm going to be in his palace in 3 weeks' time. It's called Israel. You go to Jerusalem, you go. This is historical. What he believes in is hysterical. This is historical. This is the real deal. You are gambling. You're all gamblers. You're gambling your life on the Big Bang, macroevolution, BS, pseudoscience, science fiction. If you're English, do I believe that everyone came from a man and a woman who had babies? Well, let's think about that one. No. I believe that there was an explosion of a dead rock 13.8 billion years ago. It was dead, and it was about that big. And it went boom. Well, you know what? There was a vacuum and something appeared out of nowhere. I don't believe in magic. I can do magic tricks, but they're tricks. That is pseudoscience, science fiction. No, I believe that an intelligent God has made us in his image, male and female. Sorry, how many? How many of us did we make? Adam and Eve. Just two. And then, because their genetics was pure at the beginning.
He's saying we're all inbred. He's saying we're all inbred.
According to evolution, we're inbred. According to the Bible, we're inbred because we're all distant cousins.
Well, that's what he says.
Very distant cousins.
Well, how can it be distance if there's only 1 and 2 of them?
Right. In the beginning, the genetics were very pure. Do you know the world record, the Guinness Book of Records?
I want to know about the synagogue of Satan.
There was a Russian peasant woman in the 19th century. She had 68 kids. So how many kids did Adam and Eve have? Probably 168. And from that we have all the races, and the mitochondrial DNA points towards that.
Wouldn't they have had to have bred with their brothers and sisters?
In the beginning, you have to start somewhere.
Well, I called it about a couple of minutes ago.
100%. And according to macroevolution,
Saying 100%.
You have to start somewhere. But according to the Bible,
how did they breed?
How do what?
If there were only Cain and Abel.
Right, the best thing to do is read the book. And you know it's not just Cain and Abel.
Yeah,
Cain,
well,
Abel,
yeah,
Seth,
not
and their
everyone
sisters.
would say that.
And they lived a long time, so they had loads of kids. So this is a historical book.
Let's talk about the synagogue of Satan.
This is historical.
Talk about the synagogue of Satan.
The synagogue of what?
Satan.
Synagogue of Satan. Why, are you part of it?
No, that's what it says in the book.
Yeah, you got good Jews, you got bad Jews. Now you got mango juice. Oh, mango juice. That's good.
Here we go.
Grapefruit juice.
It's my favourite bit.
You got good Jews, you got bad Jews. I'm going to Israel in 3 weeks, and I'll meet good Jews and I'll get bad Jews. I'll meet them. No,
They won't let you in.
Oh, I lived there for 2 years, bro. And I spoke to the Orthodox, the ultra-Orthodox, and they said, "What are you doing?
What's the context?
Get out of Israel. We don't want you here. We don't want this Messiah. Yesu, his name is not Yesu. They're lying. His name is Yeshua, which means salvation. They twist the truth.
Who?
And
Who's they?
The ultra-Orthodox.
The ultra-Orthodox, and
Yeah,
you're pointing
the
the finger at them, specifically. Specifically the ultra-Orthodox, it's them that's doing it.
Well, who else?
Ultra-Orthodox what?
Who else is doing it?
What, ultra-Orthodox Christians?
Who else is twisting the truth in the
I'm asking you, when you say they, what do you mean? Alright.
Have you heard of the Yad Lachim?
No.
Okay, right.
Okay, tell me about it.
You'll
Tell
learn
me about it.
something. There's a group of Orthodox Jews who hate Yeshua. They hate the Brit Hadashah, which is the new covenant, the new deal. The Messiah has cut a deal in his blood.
Right.
He's cut a deal in his own blood. He took the punishment for your sin.
Right.
God loved the world so much, he sent his only son. That whoever believes in him should not perish in hell, but have eternal life. So what you got to do to be saved? All you got to do is believe. So to believe or not believe, that is the question. Is this true?
No, good Jews and bad Jews.
True?
Good Jews and bad Jews.
You don't know, you've never read it.
Hang on.
You're
Is
too
that,
arse lazy
no,
to read it,
no, because I'm asking about the Jews. No,
well,
all
apart from you,
sin.
'cause you're perfect. But personally, I've done some bad shish kebab in my life, right? But I got forgiven when I was 19, which is 3 years ago. There's another life. 39 years ago, I got forgiven for the sins, past, present, future, because he took the punishment. He didn't do it for a laugh. He said, "I'll tell you what, I'll hang from a piece of wood for 6 hours because I'm tough."
Naked.
No, he didn't say that. He said, I'm going to be handed over to the bad Jews, the fake Jews, those sons of the devil, he called them. And they will put me on a Roman cross. But here's the good news. I'm coming back. 3 days later, the Romans would have got the body and said, "Look, here's the troublemaker. He said he's coming back."
I just want to finish
you
it.
look at him, he's dead.
Talk to us about naked.
The Romans were professional
How many sorts of Jews are there?
The Romans were professional killers.
How many sorts of Jews are there? Fundamentally, good Jews and bad Jews. No. You said there's good Jews. Listen. You said there's good Jews and bad Jews, right? You said there's good Jews and bad Jews. So you mean there are Jews and then there are Messianic Jews? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I know.
Is that what you're trying to say?
I know both.
Yeah, but you're saying good Jews and bad Jews, and we're talking about in the book, aren't we? And we're talking about the synagogue of Satan. We're talking about serious stuff. Yeah, we're talking about, you want to talk about the kids getting nonsense and stuff like that, we're talking about serious stuff. We're talking about the synagogue of Satan. Yeah, so I'm asking you a serious question. You said there's two sorts of Jews, good Jews and bad Jews. And then I'm asking you, what is that? Jews and then Messianic Jews, because Jews don't want to accept Jesus Christ as Lord and Saviour, obviously, right? Right?
I'll tell you why you're wrong with that.
Go on.
Most of them have never heard about Yeshua.
Well, they've not. What do you mean? What do you mean? That's utter bullshit. That's utter nonsense. That is utter nonsense. You're trying to argue that they've rejected Catholicism because they've not heard the truth.
Yeah.
You're off your fucking nut. That does not wash. No.
Have you been to Israel?
What do I need to go to Israel for?
Well, you're talking a load of BS. If you haven't been there and you haven't spoken,
I'm going on what you're telling me. You told me there's two sorts of Jews. You said there's good Jews and there's bad Jews. You're a biblical man. You read the Bible. You're talking about good Jews and bad Jews, and I'm simply asking: are you talking about Jews and Messianic Jews? Obviously, the two differences, we know what they are. Was my question.
The synagogue of Satan
Thank you.
will be those who reject the Jewish Messiah. They're the synagogue of Satan. They have all the evidence.
So all Jews. You're telling me then all Jews are the synagogue of Satan? That's what you're telling me.
Messiah who gives his life. Now they would say, I don't want it. We don't like it. We don't like this Messiah. We don't want it. And we will kill those Jews and Goy and Gentiles who believe in this. They're the synagogue of Satan.
All of the Jews then, basically, yeah? No. That's what you just said. That's what you just said.
No. There are hundreds of thousands of Jews who see the prophecies in the Bible.
Yeah, the Messianic Jews.
In the Lord.
Yeah, the Messianic Jews.
Adonai, Yeshua HaMashiach. They believe in him.
You blatantly,
and they get
everyone knows what you said.
They get persecuted.
It's fine.
They get stones thrown at them. Death threats. Why? Because they believe in the Jewish Messiah.
Right, cool.
Because the prophecies, there are 60 prophecies of the Messiah. He fulfilled every single one. Not 6.
Give us one.
I'll give you one. Out of you, Bethlehem, Ephratah, shall come a ruler over Israel, whose days are from eternity.
What does it say, Jesus?
In Micah 5:2.
What does it say, Jesus?
Who came from heaven, eternity, born in Bethlehem, Ephratah, the very specific area. I'm going to Bethlehem in 3 weeks. You can go. There you go. Shalom, shalom, mashlomcha. Shmi David. אני מדבר עברית. אתה מדבר עברית, לא.
According to the Bible, you are a dog. You know? You are a dog according to your Bible.
You are a Muslim who should believe in the Messiah, but you
have a
don't.
fucking have a fag, I think.
Oh, Jesus, you believe in... No, you don't. No, you don't.
Little bit of anti-Semitism for you there, boys. He loves them and all. Amazing. Look at this fucking retard. Yeah, Bob's at it. Should we ever go on Bob?
Today is the day of the Sabbath.
Oh, here he goes on about stuff.
Biblically and historically, the Sabbath
Here we go.
was a Saturday.
Yeah.
And the first Christians continue to commemorate that
With it.
the day of the Lord,
It's interesting.
the first day of the
They're
week,
watching live now.
the Sunday, the day of resurrection, Easter Day.
Yeah, mate.
And when Christians became the dominant force in our society, the Sabbath became Sunday. Christians are taught that we can choose in good conscience to make any day holy to God. Whatever that day is, the church historically chose to make that a Sunday, and that is the tradition that I keep. But as a Christian,
I need a white component
I
with
would
Bob's on
not
deck, mate.
complain if some Christians made it a Saturday. But society has to choose a day and make one day off for everyone, for the social good. And it is not as important to me which day that is, as opposed to that there is a day. I hope that answers your question.
Another question.
Go on.
There were two superpowers. Sorry? There were two superpowers, Roman and Persian. Which day they were taking holiday?
Okay. So the question is, the superpowers of the Roman Empire and the Persians Which day were they taking off as a day of rest? This is irrelevant to what we Christians believe about the Sabbath. No, sir, I'm taking questions.
Is this Roman boys?
Believe in the idea of the Sabbath because the prophets and the apostles teach the idea of the Sabbath. And we have had now decades of what it looks like not to have a Sabbath and the harm that this is causing to our society.
What harm?
Overworked workers who don't have a legal defense against the demands of their company.
Shout out you fucking commie.
And that is why it is best, ladies and gentlemen,
get him out of here,
to follow the apostolic and prophetic teaching. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the wannabe communist heckles because he knows
I'm not a communist.
if he stands
Don't
over
fucking
there,
We know you,
Das.
We fucking know you.
The only
You're not a fucking man.
that he can ever be listened to
You're
is to
intersex.
try and hijack other people's talk.
Wants to lie.
Don't be put off. Any other questions?
Yes.
Go on.
The synagogue of Satan.
What about it?
Who is it?
On the topic.
On the topic?
Yes.
Please, Bob.
On the topic.
What topic are we on?
Okay, He doesn't even know the topic.
I've just turned up.
He doesn't know the topic.
You'll get a next chance at the next example.
He's talking about how Christianity has helped the
So,
working class.
ladies and
which is a lie.
gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, the next example that Christians should pick up again and start to fight once more in the cultural war is the liberalisation of our divorce laws. The family is the very bedrock of a healthy society.
No, people
We have
having love and
established that.
respect is the very
We've
bedrock
established
of a healthy
that
society.
through thousands of years of countless civilizations building their civilization on the family as the social unit. For the last 80 years, we have progressed down the path of a
stand next to the
social
microphone, boss.
experiment
Fuck off. Get
in
away.
which we have replaced the family unit with the idea of the individual consumer as the basis of our society.
Capitalism, they call
built
that, ladies and
our
gentlemen.
economy,
They call that
our
capitalism.
politics, and our
not a
culture
commie.
on this idea. And the harm that it has done is told in one way by the increased economic burden upon the state to pick up the bill
Of the
for
capitalist. You
the
are right,
family.
Bob. The
For
first
the
time in
family.
your life,
No,
capitalists
ladies
own
and
the
gentlemen.
economic state here, and the
If we
capitalists
recognise
define the repression
that the
and
family
individuality
is the bedrock
of the people here.
of a healthy society,
Oh, we've got the
it makes
fucking
sense that we
the synagogue of
develop
Satan's
laws
across the road, boys.
that strengthen the family
Straight up.
and not weaken
Turn the
the
microphone on
family.
for that.
Yes.
The Sabbath is one
Capitalism
example.
destroys
But
individual
laws
rights.
that weaken
Unions,
the
which I'm
idea
sure Bob
of
agrees
the family
with, unions make
through
sure that
liberalising
laws are for
divorce
the
laws
people.
are damaging the family.
Sabbath has got
Rather
nothing
Alright,
to do
Trev.
with workers'
than
rights.
liberalising divorce laws,
How you perverted
Look at this
we
the
should
cunt.
invest
Chucking his
in
arms
our
everywhere.
money
Like he's in the
in
fucking...
rescuing
I don't know.
families that fall into economic and social and emotional harm. We should invest more money in helping them, in counselling them, in rescuing them from
Thanks,
poverty,
Trev.
social services.
in investing
Oh my
them
God.
He is
in
right.
the children.
We need more social
Ladies and
services.
gentlemen,
What, kidnapping children?
ladies
Kidnapping
and
children?
gentlemen, the power of biblical
mental.
principles.
You are?
Having
is
a
even
family, you were talking about
convincing
paedophiles earlier.
my
Yeah, and you're about-
You
we
don't
need-
think
you
you should
said-
take children
to
from
agree with me.
paedophile families?
Are there any other questions?
What? That's mate. What are you on about? There's plenty. What happens to them children that get taken away? What happens to them? Let's talk about that. There should be.
But let's talk. You're about to lose your opportunity for a
No, Bob.
On the topic.
On the topic.
No, what do you mean?
On the topic.
Is it?
You weren't even listening again.
No, it's because it is, cunt. It's showing. Bob, please. The synagogue of Satan. No.
Not on topic.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Any questions on the topic about liberalising divorce laws? Or alternatively, investing money in strengthening families that are falling into emotional and economic difficulty?
Families do not define.
Any questions on the topic going once?
Watch out. Yeah. Careful, there's equipment.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Any question going twice? Last chance.
Now go on, Bob.
Okay. Thank you, Justin. So, the next topic, ladies and gentlemen, that we Christians must pick up the fight again. And I say this now, this is really going to set dust off.
Yes!
I can't handle it, I'm going to have to go. He keeps fucking me head up.
You're going to have to be disciplined with your hearing.
I can't handle it, he shouts.
You're going to have to really pay attention. The next fight that we Christians should pick up again is against the idea of multiculturalism.
Ooh. Hallelujah.
Now, let me be clear what I do stand for before I talk about why I am against it. I am in favour of a multi-ethnic state. I am not in favour of a mono-ethnic nationalism. But I am in favour of a monocultural state. The reason why you should be weary of multiculturalism is that multiculturalism is the ingredients for every civil war that has been fought in every part of the world in recorded history. Examples: the Yugoslavian Civil War, the Lebanese Civil War, the Sudanese Civil War, the Burmese Civil War. These are three examples. You can investigate them yourself. You can also add to that the Nigerian Civil War. What do all these civil wars have in common? Multiple ethnicities, multiple religions, multiple values, multiple political aspirations.
Actually, what they have in common.
There you go. Triggered.
Resources.
That's what you heard.
Oil and resources.
He said
which the Christian
oil
Church
and resources.
The Christian Church
Lebanon has no oil.
Lebanon does have oil.
Yugoslavia has no oil.
But it does have resources.
He basically started off
resources.
from a line.
Oil and resources.
At the very beginning.
Which the Christian Church
so, ladies
will
and
happily
gentlemen,
murder your country for. That's
the
what the Iraq War
that
was.
You build
murdering Muslims for
social
their
cohesion
Sends a blind eye
is
to
by
murder.
giving people
How is it that much of a
something
Christian?
to integrate
Hurt thy
into.
neighbour, unless they've
You
got oil,
integrate
then you
into
can murder them.
something if it is there to integrate into. The problem about multiculturalism is it gives nothing for anyone to integrate into. All it does
but it doesn't blame
is emphasise
the
division.
He blames multiculturalism, not the people with the guns going after your oil and resources. He blames people with no power.
Social cohesion is breaking down in the West.
That's who
and the
he
only
blames.
way
The people
that they
without
can marshal
power.
social
Welcome to Bob the
cohesion
Destroyer.
is to tell Christians and the British people that you have no history and no culture to be proud of.
You do,
ladies and
but you shouldn't
gentlemen,
be proud of genocide,
you
which
should
is what
build
the Iraq War
a
done by the Christian
monocultural,
church was.
multi-ethnic state.
Bob's proud
Don't
of his
feed the
crusades. He's called
So
the
what
crusades here.
should we
Bob
build
the Destroyer,
our
which is why we call him Bob the Destroyer.
monocultural, multi-ethnic state?
I mean, I can't. People say to stay in it. Like, I can't bear it. It's cunt. I can't fucking bear it.
And our Christian history and our Christian identity.
Don't be proud of genocide.
Because
don't be proud of
wherever
rape.
you are
Is the capacity is storage? Capacity. The capacity of the storage.
It's a live stream. It's live. It goes onto the internet. I don't know. See what I know about capacity storage for. Can't listen to Bob while that fucking idiot's there shouting next to him, mate. Like it's the only place he feels fucking safe or saying, the nerd. Yeah.
You've got two Jews telling you now we disagree with you. You may think we're safe under you, but we all we're all ethnically cleansed. I dabble in an Adli synagogue. There's a gentleman who sits in front of me who watched a Muslim mob slaughter his father. The synagogue I pray in is named after the synagogue they razed to the ground. So don't tell me how beautiful it was living under Islam. I don't want to pay the jizya. I don't want to be a dhimmi. But back to the subject.
I'm not. Now you're getting another red herring. You did.
What about Dimitri over here, boys?
Most moral armies in the world. I never.
What about the Goy?
Mentioned any of the actions that are taken in the West Bank or in the Gaza Strip. I mentioned the statement itself. The statement itself. Now, let me go back to the question just for context.
Are you opposed to the state of Israel on religious grounds?
Yes.
It just helps the audience to contextualise why we have such a strong difference of opinion. You are making arguments to authority, to religious authority, and I am making arguments based on
my beliefs, while maybe based on religion, can be backed up on facts. Now, I'm not here calling for the dismantling of the state, because the idea that if we give it to the PA or Hamas, they'll butcher all of us there. Now, I'm not here calling for that. I'm not here defending the Palestinian state. I've been said that a million times over. I'm not here. I don't do that shit. I meant that. How many times?
The reason I said that is it explains why you would use a term like the catastrophe to describe the establishment of the state of Israel.
The Bosnian Wars. You know the Bosnian Wars?
It's not my expertise, but yes, I know the Bosnian Wars.
They butchered they butchered the Bosnian Muslims were butchered by the Croats and by the Serbs. No, but they claim both the Croats and the Serbs, including leadership who are still alive now, that they were fighting for their independence, that they were fighting against genocide. That's their lie. They were fighting against it that justified Srebrenica, where they butchered 8,000 Muslim men and boys. Now, the idea that you're fighting for your independence when you just survived genocide is not an excuse to what happened. What happened? The reality is, based on Ben Gurion, not my words, let's go with Ben Gurion, the head of the provisional government of Israel and the first president, prime minister of Israel. Reliable source for you or not? He's a good source for you, just making sure. In his own diaries released in the 50s, he admits that the Igun and the time was still Igun, they hadn't yet been completely put into under leadership of the provisional government, cleared out villagers, Arab villagers. He admitted. Now, if that's not a catastrophe, you keep getting very hung up on that. If clearing out, ethnically cleansing villagers is not a catastrophe for you, what is?
Okay, so can I respond to that? So, every single Jew was ethnically cleansed from the territory that the Arabs did. Let me respond, I listened to yours. In contrast, you have to go to villages, individual villages, which were held for operational positions, because as you have to realise, these were civilian conflicts, a civilian conflict, yeah? It was Palestinian civilians from villages fighting Jewish civilians from villages, yeah? The massacres that people talk about happened in these villages, yeah? Whether it's on the Arab side or the Jewish side. So these are military positions, and there were a small number of villages that were emptied after they were used to attack Jewish positions. Yeah, we agree on that, I'm sure. If you're familiar with Benny Morris, who's the main advocate of what you're saying, is the main historian that most people on both sides go to, what you'll find is almost every example of a village being emptied was for military defensive purposes. There are two examples of two cities that were actually removed of their population. That was Lud and Ramla. Yeah? And they were, as conflict brought out, the Jews, the Israelis, tried to make peace with them. They agreed with the elders that they could have peace, but then the Arab Legion continued the fighting, and eventually those villages, I think it was the Arab Legion, I may be wrong, were emptied, and the population moved a couple of kilometres away to Arab-held positions. In contrast, so we can literally name each of the villages that you're talking about. We can name the cities. In contrast, every single Jew was ethnically cleansed. Their synagogues were burned. Ancient communities where your ancestors, my ancestors are buried, were empty. It was the first time in centuries, thousands of years, where there were no Jews living here because they were ethnically cleansed by the people that you're defending, and you're describing what the Israelis did as the catastrophe. What's cause and what was effect? The cause was Israelis. Where they invaded the genocide.
Let me answer. Let me.
Anyway, it's Jew and Jew at the moment. We can go Jew and Gentile at the moment.
Let me give a very good example. When the Good Friday.
Not at all. It's just I've only get a conversation in Speaker's Corner with a fellow Jew, and I think the viewers will like to hear two conflicting Jewish opinions.
You know the Good Friday
agreement? Yes.
Okay. Good Friday agreement. One of the agreements we made with the IRA, the real IRA, whatever they call themselves, the Sinn Féin, was that we gave letters of pardon. We gave to actual terrorists who were on the run. We said that we will not prosecute you. In Parliament, there have been debates now. Johnny Mercer, the former Minister for Veterans Affairs, was bringing up the fact that veterans are still being hounded for what they did in Northern Ireland 40, 50 years ago, when actual terrorists walk around and sit in Parliament. He said it's not fair. Now, I disagree with him, and this is where my example is. I don't hold the IRA to any high standard. They're an active terrorist group, so they attack kids. I don't hold them to that. I hold British military personnel to the highest standard. The same thing here. You want to keep bringing the Arab thing. You want to bring
bigotry of no expectations much?
What?
You're holding Jews and Arabs to a different standard? That sounds
no,
quite
I'm
racist.
Holding my people. I hold my people to a higher standard.
Sounds quite racist. I hold them to the same standard.
No problem. Let's go down there. I hold my people because it's my people and they got to do with me. When he does something wrong,
hallelujah.
Yes, it's wrong. It's wrong. But I don't run around telling him it's wrong because in reality, it's something he has to take care of. When your own leader, you have to acknowledge the flaws within yourself. Your
language was, I hold the British to a higher standard.
I hold military personnel to a terrorist organization, to a murderous mob that entered Jews out to a genocidal maniac, to a genocidal phrase in the 40s and 50s. I don't hold them. There was a genocidal mob being riled on by years of hate and on their leadership.
Do you believe it was religiously motivated?
These people that you've kind of
religion played a part.
Debate with each in terms of Islamic.
They seem to be in the middle of the debate.
So you're just watching any old debate?
I'm just seeing. I find it quite interesting to see two Jews.
Religion was used on the part of it.
What's your angle on that?
You want to go back. Religion was used clearly by religious leadership. And the Mufti of Jerusalem, he was Mufti of Jerusalem. So religious leadership, of course, played a part in it. Now you want to know if I think that's the correct. I'm not arguing over that's the correct way of religion. That's a stupid conversation. I think you know that as well. Just to argue that's the correct way of the religion. But religion played a part in it, and that the fact that they were led on by that, I don't hold them to a high standard.
Normally, I'm
the king of Jordan, who was not a very religious man, is on record calling it a jihad. The Arab leadership were able to rally huge armies under the flag of jihad. That's why the Mufti described them as Muslims must not declare jihad, slaughter the Jews, slaughter the entire religion played a fundamental part.
But like I said, I hold my people there. It's my people, so I have to answer for them. I do not have to answer for the Muslim in Cairo. I don't. I have nothing to do with it.
Can I ask you a question? Do you despise these sorts of people? How do you view the Zionists of 1948? What do you hold them? Or even earlier, someone like Theodore Herzl. How do you view these men? Like, are they, like, obviously they're Jewish, are they good men?
From a religious sense?
No, from a human sense.
Some of them, some Zionist leaders were. I come from a very Zionist family. My family, my father did survive from my grandmother, okay? What? They lived on a kibbutz, they lived in shipping containers when they came from Europe. They lived in shipping
Seems
containers.
ironic that in one place where you could
very
say
Zionist family, and uncles started to do service. All right? I'm not coming from those fanatics that go,
Are you claiming that? Is it like your immediate family are also quite...
Like I said, my father did
because they're true believers in a different...
No, because they're
I'm
fucking
not like the
France,
father with
and that's the only discourse that's allowed to be had.
I've never come to justify the Palestinian
And what are you not allowed to
call, but rather to call out
if a social democrat
within the Israeli position. That's why I'm saying, I have to choose not Hamas, Israeli leadership, any day, Israeli leadership. Let me make that clear. The Israeli leadership stands. I don't choose them for myself out of selfish reasons.
That's effectively like saying you also choose between a really nice, respectable gentleman and you go to school. I choose the It's not much of a comparison. You're not doing much of a service.
I'm not saying that you're run by your local yeah, we want Hamas to rule the whole thing. Like, my point is, I'm not coming like that. I'm very realistic to what the things are on the ground, and that I have a major issue that my taxpayer money is used to fund Jews and killing Jews in Israel. The British aid is sent to the Palestinians. There's hours the British aid is sent to Palestinian Egypt, and they use it to spend it. As Abu Hamza said, if we have $1 left, we're going to use it to fund the market. I have an issue with that. I do have a major issue. I have an issue when Labour politicians go there, fall over and listen to his anti-Semitism. Holocaust now, I have an issue with that. I'm not coming here I'm just very open-minded about it. My having been religious anti-Zionist is not relevant. Really, that hasn't affected my thought at all. Because I will always defend the state of Israel in public against
before you formed your anti-Zionist religious position.
Mate, I can show you stuff. I can show you cases that I've got. Where's the World Health Organization?
It's not, I can't answer. It's forming of many years. Now, I will always defend the state of Israel in other forums. I will. Because when the other options are shit, I don't know. But when you're here, if it wasn't you, if it was Ali Dawa or Muhammad Jabi, I have no problem defending. I've defended the state of Israel many times. I have. And I will continue to do so. But the idea that your list of is not true. And even if you go take away from the fact that if you go to 67, let's forget that. Let's go. Let's start running around.
Up to you guys.
Oh, you did a rap already?
We haven't wrapped yet, but we can if you want.
I've never stopped.
And my biggest issue with current leadership is not regarding the Nakba or the war in after 67. The fact that we took over, the Israel took over millions, hundreds of millions of Muslims. And the reason I use the word Muslim,
when you say what my take on it,
very unlikely ever identify with a Jewish state.
I don't know what the official position is.
That's not true.
Will most likely
literally this year, I don't know. The Arabs of East Jerusalem, just one fact on that, but the Arabs of East Jerusalem, so Palestinian Muslims.
Is there a chemical or is it just vapor?
No, there's particles, nanoparticles.
You kind of quite rude in our conversation. 93% of
the idea that you could
they would rather live
particles in the air
than under the Palestinian Authority.
Particles in the sea are violence to create carbon sink.
Because Israel, we have Arab churches that send Jewish prime ministers, Jewish presidents to jail, and the Palestinians look at that and say, we wish we could do that.
I'm not into all that.
We wish we could do that.
All I know is I read the government
that we could throw our leaders in jail.
If you want to join the Telegram group,
Israel
we're all
is
on
the
there.
only place in the entire region
This is not a
where
joke.
Jews, Christians,
This is not a conspiracy theory. I'm not. I've just got common sense. I'm not like some super charity.
I've just got common sense. But that's my point. The reality is, I have a question. Answer me in all honesty. If you want, you can turn off your recorder. You can go quiet. Do you ever think there will be a Palestinian state?
Actually, you're
that wasn't my question. Answer me yes or no. Do you ever think there will be? Not do you?
You're not interested in the old boys from the old synagogue chat? Right, nice to meet you, mate.
Nice to meet you too.
Cheers. Jim. Alistair. That's a very posh name, Alistair. All right. You have a good day. My name's Scottish and all, to be honest with you.
James.
Yeah.
James first.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, well, one day go, Alistair. Not interested in the house of the synagogue chat? Look, he's got them all at it now, look. He just gets them arguing amongst themselves, though. I need to get a drink. I need to have a drink, or more drink. That's some spiritual talks. Even the boys are up there in spiritual talks. There is a bit of photography going on. Can't see nothing on the camera. Why is that everywhere? Taking photos, look at it. Is that all the political shit? No. Mental. There'll be some bold words, then, boy. Yeah, he's on his own, boys. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good. I haven't seen you.
I know, it's been ages.
He was killing Christians. He was persecuting them. And then Hashem met with him on the way, and then he changed his mind. He said, "Who are you?" And he said, "I am Yeshua ben Nazareth."
As in they're the
Nazareth is sinking town.
No, as in they believe that Jesus is doing the same.
Yeah, I'm not into that. I'm like Old Testament.
Yeah, I know you.
He knew
I'm on
that
about
he would
them.
lose his life. He knew that he would have
Is it talking with him?
Well, they probably
but
don't
he still believed.
think much about Jesus, do they?
They probably
Most
got,
Jews don't even.
They probably think he's burning in a
Wanna
pit
read it?
of poo-poo.
Best thing to do. I mean,
But a lot of Jews don't want their kids being taught about the New Testament.
Well, no, of course they don't.
So I'll go with them. Basically. I think they know best. Jesus was a Jew, after all.
Oh yeah? Exactly that. Jesus was a Jew. They're trying to hoodwink us, aren't they?
Yeah.
Huh?
But I say conservative Englishmen.
Yeah, I
are the
mean,
new
when I was
Jews.
19, I didn't.
You say
Well, Israeli.
you would do, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, English conservatism is invented by a Jew. So
Yeah.
it makes
Well,
sense.
Say, well, hang on, this is not true. This is not true.
If you follow Disraeli, then, then you're basically a Jew.
if you're following Israelis, you're basically a Jew.
No, Disraeli.
Our
Prime Minister in the 1960s, he was a Jew,
yeah.
basically. And he taught us why,
Well, Israel's
why our
only thing
country's
is
so
British
great.
fucking thing, isn't it? The monarchy and the government. And that.
Yeah. I think we're like allies, right? Israel and England.
I don't know how it all works. I think they're shit on anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like the government now because they're like injecting everyone like crazy.
Well, yeah, exactly that.
Yeah, they lost. They turned their back on God. That's the
I want to get, I want to get him on a one-to-one about this synagogue situation.
What's the synagogue situation?
You know what? They would do guys as well.
Well, it says
Some rabbis really know this.
somewhere in Revelations it's on about the synagogue of Satan, and I just need it.
quickly before you guys go and see
I need an interpretation.
He's saying there's a lot of the Jews are bad now because they don't believe in Jesus.
Yeah, Messianic Jews are the good Jews, and everyone else is bad Jews.
Yeah.
Is that it?
But what about
That's
before
amazing.
Jesus? Like what about 1,000 years before Jesus? Were they all lost as well?
Well, they hadn't heard the word, had they, apparently?
Moses heard the word loud and clear, wrote it down on stone so we don't forget it.
Oh, I nearly fell over then. Stop it, I nearly fell over. Yeah, funny cunt. Oh, shit. It is funny. You're funny, yeah.
Just be the truth. So speak.
And then people lie to you and say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. No? Heiko's not here. No?
You just say it nicely. Can you say I'm a fucking idiot nice?
After knowledge, it's completes the menorah. But you have all of it, all the sections. That's what the
What do you know about the Synagogue of Satan?
Don't film me, thanks.
Why not, please?
That's a hell of a conversation starter. Tell me about the Synagogue of Satan.
I know, 'cause I know you're preaching that, and I want to know what it means. What's the Synagogue of Satan mean? No? Let's get him right off. This one's standing strong now, he knows what's coming.
I know he's big Jesus fan.
Big Jesus.
Have you been to the garden in
The kids love it.
Oh, okay. Well, I've been in that one. They think, well, he could, yeah, a similar type of. It wasn't the actual room.
Where's all this one?
Yeah.
Do you put this
But a
up
lot
on
of these
YouTube?
places they're run by Catholics.
Nah, not all the time.
The Garden Tomb is run by believers.
Depends.
What's the most
The
hits
Church
you've
of the
got
Holy Sepulchre.
ever?
Ever?
Oh, it's a horrible place.
You got any real popular videos?
I had a video that got 350,000 hits on someone else's channel, but I was what's it called? It was my work.
And that temple is going to
my
be
footage.
rebuilt.
That's pretty.
That's not really fucking viral though. Millions viral, isn't it? These days.
They've got everything ready.
You know what I mean? Internet's a big place.
Like a religious
They've got
discussion.
I know, it wasn't about religious discussion.
It's going to be rebuilt.
No, it was a fucking police interview.
I've got a theory as to how. I think.
That's what I mean. I don't really put all this stuff up. It's
Near
a
the
bit.
wedding, and it's going to go blow up. A lot of Orthodox
If it was more political,
Jews.
and it was stuff that was more relevant in the here and now. Don't get me wrong, there is a message here to be had, but we don't need to fucking be arguing all day about it. You know what I mean? It's pretty simple.
So there has to be
Everyone needs to accept Jesus, and then we can get on with it.
I say politics and God. Right together.
Yeah, well, I mean,
One nation, under God.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Looks like the Pen's going to win.
Huh?
It's going to change. Looks like the Pen's going to win.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. Speaking to a French guy, said he just voted for in the constitution.
That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, she's not going to be the great. She's not going to like save everything. It's better than that. Better than
You think she wins?
He seems to think, yeah. The results have come out. She's on the first.
I mean,
how long it's going to
we'll know about 7 o'clock.
This evening? Today? Okay.
Just to look on Macron's face will be worth it.
You know what I mean? But I thought Macron's one of them. Like, he's
sort of globalist.
Yeah.
Moderate.
Yeah, so fucking, how are they gonna? And well, she blatantly is an all though, isn't she? Even though she tried to argue for a Frexit and all that. But
probably. Yeah, she's not as hard as it.
As they're making up.
Eve is the mother of wedding. But her name is not the Quran.
I believe there's going to be a 7-year presidency. And it's going to be broken by a super smart, super funny, super good-looking guy. And he's going to be absolutely he's going to reveal. Everyone's going to think he's wonderful.
It's gonna be a tranny. He's gonna be a transgender. Why are you laughing?
I don't know, mate.
Yeah, he definitely
But
is.
he's going to break a 7-year visa. It's not a 6, it's not a 10. And it says that. And this
He's talking about the trip.
And in 3.5 years,
Use it
he's
a
going to
fact.
break it. He's going to break it. He's going to reveal who he is. I think he's the Muslim. I think he's the Muslim. He's going to say,
He thinks it's the
I am with
Muslims.
the Pope. I am all friends. Everyone join together. King sing Kumbaya. We're all friends. 3.5 years in. And the Muslim.
You don't get it, like
Off the head.
staring him straight in the face. You don't get
See,
it.
in the Brit the Hadashah, it says that. It's coming. All the signs are there. All the signs are there. 1948. You know,
Next time it happens, it's going to be worse than it was now.
Oh, Battle of Armageddon, man. Megiddo Valley, that's the final thing. And it's going to happen. And I tell people, it's not about Ukraine. It's not about London, Washington. It's about Jerusalem. Jerusalem will be a cup of trembling, it says in the Tanakh. A cup of trembling.
What's Gog and Magog? What's that all about?
Gog and Magog.
Yeah. What happens? What's the story?
Ezekiel 38 and 39.
Love it, love it. He's got it all written down, boys.
Ezekiel 38 and 39. There you go, Gog and Magog. There's little Israel.
Right, here you go. Can the boys see that or
It's not
no?
about America. It's about this tiny little place there. Gog and Magog. Turkey, Erdogan, Turkey, Iran. This is what it says in the Bible.
Right.
It says Iran, Turkey, Libya, Gog and Magog, and armies from the east.
Yeah.
Could well be China.
Right.
They're going to come against Eretz Yisrael.
Who?
Yeah, Israel.
What did you say first?
Eretz, land of Israel.
Oh, right.
Eretz, land of
Where's that, Hebrew?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Super, yeah. So there you go. Why this tiny little place in the middle of the world? Why?
Tell us.
Why? Well, because it's prophesied. It's prophesied he will gather the Jews back into that nearly 2,000 years. That ain't a coincidence. That's a God incident. That's a God incident.
Jews from there, Jews from there, Jews from that part of the world, Jews from Africa, Jews from everywhere, Jews from Russia.
Yeah.
And they're all returning.
Yep. All returning.
So what?
It's called prophecy.
Right.
No, Isaiah 46:10. What does he say? I am Elohim.
Right.
I am Elohim. There's no other.
Right.
Declaring the end from the beginning, from ancient.
Thank you.
Isaiah 46:10.
The boys are off.
Isaiah 46:10. Yeshayahu 40. No, it says, I am Elohim, there's no other. Declaring the end from the beginning. In other words, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen in the future.
They think he's burning in pig shit.
That's what
No.
You do! Don't make out!
So there you go.
So you're trying to save him? You're trying to save him?
I'm trying to...
Because this thing here puts me right... It throws me off. I don't know what your angle is. You're trying to draw him in?
It's not mine. It's not mine.
Yeah, but you stand in front of it.
My angle is prophecy. My
Right.
angle is prophecy.
Right.
My angle is the Bible. It tells you what's going to happen and it comes true. That is the fingerprints of God.
Right.
And that's the gospel. Jesus said, I'm going to prophesy, right? These fake Jews, they're sons of the devil, they're snakes.
Right.
They're going to kill me, and then after 3 days, I'm coming back. That's a prophecy, and I'm going to come back, and that's exactly what he did.
And what about...
That's what a true prophet does.
So what's your thing on the tribulation? What happens in that? Who goes where when?
7-year peace deal. After 3.5 years, that's when the tribulation kicks in. 3.5 years of when the shit hits the fan.
So you're saying you know the hour and the day?
Oh, I know the hour and the day or the hour.
So what are you saying?
You can figure out a month.
That's what I mean.
But not the day or the hour.
I don't know. Do you think you'll be able to tell? You think that's what it is? It's going to be halfway through?
If you're discerning, if you know the Bible really well, and you're really discerning and close to God, then you can really know who the Antichrist is. You can see all these things coming into play. If you're ignorant, you're just trusting in the BBC or Orthodoxy or Catholicism, you're never going to tell. Never going to tell. So you need to follow the truth, and then you're going to see. But 3.5 years of tribulation all over the world. It's going to be in Australia and the North Pole and the South Pole, all over there.
So
that's why it's called the Great.
Right.
Great Tribute. It's going to be everywhere.
Will the church go up in the twinkling of an eye?
Yeah, I believe after the tribulation.
Okay, this is what I'm saying. You're post-trib.
I'll tell you what's there.
Yeah, it might be.
So we live through that shit, brother. That's what you're telling me. Get out of here, man. That's enough of him. Get out of here. Cheers, mate. I started to like him, and then I fucking went off him again. All right, Steve. How are you doing?
Too bad, you?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Very good.
You see
Unusual to see you down there.
Well, I thought I'd come and see what was going on, like.
Madness is corner.
Same old shit, innit?
Same old shit.
What's literally the same? It doesn't change.
No, not really.
It's sad, isn't it? There's no one up here talking any politics or anything that matters.
I know, exactly. That's the thing, isn't it? There's many important subjects people could be talking about. But no, just wobbling over who's gods.
What do you think about? Did you see the egg theatre thing putting on that family sex show thing in Bath?
Oh yes, I did hear about.
Did you see that they've been shut down before they opened?
Very good.
Yeah. Well, that's a bit of good news anyway. I'd like to share about. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, take care, mate. He says that's good news. Don't know if we believe him. Yeah, we do believe Steve. He wouldn't lie to us, he's an atheist. But Pavlov's fucking centre stage.
I'm not planning to stay in the UK.
What, mate? Oh, look! Look what I found.
The war is also an you're citing stats about deaths and tanks and so on. I haven't got into those stats, so I don't know one way or another. Actually, to be honest with you, although at the beginning I thought to myself, I'll try and follow carefully what's going on, it became such a vast statistics and such a vast quantity of information coming out. I just took the attitude, I'm not going to sit here like fiddling over every single case, nor am I going to accept any of the stories as true. I mean, you might say that's
your choice.
Close my eyes, close my ears, but at the same time, I just feel it gives me a bit more objectivity to look what's going on. I just can't go for, oh, they're all dead, the Russians killed them. You know, with all the sort of phrases, you know, allegedly killed, or, you know what I mean? Butcher, a butcher, you know, there's a certain point which you have to say, I mean, for me, what's the motivation? Why would they do that? I'm not saying you couldn't do it,
because
why?
Let me explain why would they do that. And I need to explain this by giving an example of them doing a similar thing in the past. First of all, the Soviet army was very well known by everyone to commit a lot of atrocities. Now, fair point, the Germans committed a lot of atrocities in World War II. Yes, Second World War. Second World War. Yeah. That's what I meant. Second World War, the Germans committed a lot of atrocities. Then the Soviets went to Germany and they committed very similar atrocities to the Germans. They committed rapes, pillages, killings in Berlin when they took Berlin. Now, fair enough, the Germans committed a lot of bad things, horrible things. But still, the Americans didn't make any of that the Soviets did when the Americans came there. The British didn't commit any of those atrocities that the Soviets committed. That's the first point. Second point, a lot closer to us, the situation of Chechnya, of the Chechnya War. When the Russians started getting bombed, when their convoys started getting destroyed by the Chechen fighters, by the Chechen warriors, you know, who were giving a very strong fight against the Russian troops, Putin, who was in charge back then, by the way, this is something funny, before Putin was in power, the previous Russian president did not do anything about Chechnya. They just kind of had a hands-off relationship with Chechnya. When Putin came in charge, he immediately went, oh, okay, we gotta put them down. He sent troops to Chechnya, and when they started suffering losses to the Chechens, they completely leveled Grozny to the ground. They shelled it out of existence. Exactly, it's their way of fighting. It's their way of fighting to scare the population that they're attacking into submission. To inflict, exactly, pulverize them. To inflict so many losses, so much death and destruction and atrocities upon the population that you're attacking, so that they get so scared, they're like, oh man, I don't want to be exterminated. It's okay, I'll be with you, just don't kill me, please. And that's exactly what they're doing in Ukraine. Look at Mariupol. Very similar situation to Grozny. Vast parts of the city, which is, it's a bigger city than Grozny, it's a far bigger city with a vaster population. And a lot of its part was completely leveled to the ground. Let's look at Kharkiv, it's a similar situation. And Bucha, again, and Bucha is again part and parcel of this terror warfare. You kill people, you exterminate people, you execute people in front of each other, you make people scared, you make people afraid, you make them feel hopeless in the situation. And they resign, and there you go, you got things. That's their way of doing things. It's as simple as that.
So how does the West supply vast amounts of high-grade weapons help?
Have you seen Chris
Very good question. It helps.
Or is it possible that it really exacerbates the extent of
Oh, my God.
Well, if it weren't for the supply of the West, of the weapons by the West, the Ukrainians would not be able to fight the war. It's with the javelins, with the Endos, with the Bayraktars.
Hypothetically, let's say the West had not sent any weapons, and Russia had conquered Kiev, conquered the other parts of the country. How would Ukrainians' response? How successful do you think they'd be in undermining the Russians as an occupier?
The Ukrainians would have to
the question is, would some kind of passive resistance or some kind of appeal to the ordinary soldiers not be more effective than more and more weapons in the hand of a standing army backed by NATO?
Passive resistance has been proven to be absolutely futile against Russia. And we can see that with the Russian protests, they have been put down with brute force. They went there, they beat up the people who were protesting, they jailed them, some of them for 10 years for just speaking against the government. And it's legit, you can see that that's the law they passed right now. Passive resistance is impossible against Russia.
But in the countries that were occupied by the former Soviet Union, so mainly the Russian army, the Ukrainians under they were able to drive out the Russians. So
the Popular Front.
So is it, okay, not perfect, the Russians withdrew, but I think the idea of a Russian occupation, that's what my position was at the beginning.
I see.
The Russians occupy Ukraine. if nothing was done, and then
Your
people
point
started
is there would be less
protesting
deaths if the Ukrainians were occupied
Yes,
and they
and
started
they didn't get all the
resisting
weapons
against
in
the
the West,
Russians.
yes.
But I disagree with that. That would be a lot worse for the Ukrainians than it is now. I'll explain you why. So I'll give you a few examples why that kind of resistance against Russia is ineffective. Because you know Maidan, right? The Maidan protests, blah blah blah. The pro-Russian puppet governor in Ukraine, Yanukovych, started, having his thugs shoot the protesters, and the protesters. Well, he was put in dispute,
but that's your view.
It's disputed by Putin. It's not just by Putin. It's not disputed. Fair enough. Look, you can say that, but it's been kind of proven at this point. Now, I can give you a similar situation to that. Ukrainians actually succeeded in their rebellion against the pro-Russian puppet. The same situation happened in Belarus to Lukashenko. They attempted the same situation, but they were put down because Russian troops quickly were sent to. Guys, come on. Get a room, guys, get a room. Get a room.
Concentrate on what you're doing.
Sorry, go ahead. I am. I'm very concentrated. Anyway, coming back to the point. In Belarus, they were not able to say.
Right, that's enough of that. His fucking voice is annoying.
Well, I mean, the thing is, they've always been.
Yeah, look at it. Yeah, cheers. So Israel's not going to go away. Palestinians
Wish it would.
have got two options. You wish it would.
Well, yeah.
Right, okay, everyone's got their opinion. Palestinians
Do you want to have a conversation about it or no?
One option is to make peace with Israel.
Just want to stand and
and
shout.
after.
You're about them terrorists again, ain't you?
The other option is
Right.
to make peace with Israel.
Right.
Sorry, it's to continue fighting against Israel and losing every time. Every time the Palestinians attack Israel, the Palestinians come off worse. Every time. Do they learn? No.
No, they're very stupid.
Yeah. There's an old saying, a definition of stupidity. You do the same
That's the
thing
definition of
again, to expect a
stupidity.
different result.
That's not stupidity, that's insanity. Fucking idiot. Look, in case you lot was wondering what the whole thing looks like. Oh, zoom in on that. That's the old facial recognition system, mate. Got no numbers on either. He's got eyebrows though, hasn't he? He's got cameras all up it, boys. No police markings. They're just there trying to get everyone's smudged, mate. Jim's going for a sit down and make an herb, mate. Look at these boys over here. Where did the old protest go to anyway?
Oh yeah! No, not. It's not the first of them. No, we have to take
Oh, I'm recording on that. That looks mental. Blood clouds look mental as fuck. Change the battery in the thing.
Do you think everyone will be okay when they watch their Yeah. Great. Well, that was good. Well done, everyone.
God, I need a Jimmy, man. I'll go and listen to Arco give a speech in a little while, I suppose. Can't imagine he's still going to be fucking talking like a mental person trying to get his channel taken down. He had a strike and that the other day. Someone's pissed there, but I think it's a bit, what's it called? There's a lot of people around that pissed there, to be honest. God, mate. That make me hurt first. That sun looks fucking mental, man. Can't even see it, but like, look at that through there. That looks nuts. Parker on the strike, didn't he? I believe. Don't mind me, I'm just trying to medicate. It's paying me absolutely no attention, I'm sitting in the piss. Yeah, on Sam's stream, yeah. I go channel, Sam's channel, I mean, it's same sort of thing at this stage, isn't it? God, this corner proper stinks of piss, mate. Stinks, man. Fucking Georgie disappeared, didn't he? Swooped off, I think. Ain't seen him. Found a little corner. That stinks piss. There's Johnny. Is he looking to sit in a pissy corner? Is he looking for a bag of herb or a pissy corner? Yeah, no, I understand that, Lee, so I had to come out of the thing because I wasn't getting no chat. I need to sort it out when I go back. Got no chat, mate. He's on a push bike there. All these police cars and stuff, man. So annoying. Yeah, there's loads of them. What are they all doing up here? You see them all? What are you on about, Lisa? Need a setup like Immy. I what, with an extra phone? Yeah, I know. I know. Got a microphone. One thing at a time. Rome weren't built in a day. You know? We've got a bit of protesting action going on here, have we? No, I got what you meant. Sorry. Right. Can't really drop the joint in the piss. Meow. Size that queue. Might go back to RC3. So down there for me, it's used I can just piss up one of these trees over it next to the big camera device. Blatantly pissing here, really. Angles everywhere though, mate, for nosy people. I was pissing the fucking thing like before. That way I can hide my todger. And I don't get done for exposing myself. Right, how can you say I was exposing myself? It's clearly fucking hidden. Oh, look, they're all over there looking straight at my little toilet hole. That's fucking... Oh, look, John Martin's over here. I can go and drop the gear off and then go and be more elusive. I think that's the play we're playing at the minute. Amazing, amazing. Amen.
I believe in the county top, but I pointed out that isn't the virus anyway, and it's a manufacturer. But he's on board with the vax program. Does he believe the virus is? Well, he must be. What should I say, please? But you see, you can have jabs effective which aren't viruses anyway, so that's
I've never heard of the antivirus. I've heard about antivirus, but you know the whole movement is going antivirus.
No, not the whole movement.
There are members of the movement
Yes.
that are anti-virus, right? I wouldn't
You
say
see,
anti-virus.
it's not an issue for the movement. The important thing for the movement is that the vax program is got no justification whatsoever, and the jab is killing people. So that's why we've got to end it. It doesn't matter if you believe in the virus or not, that is in the secondary.
Joseph, I'm a big fan of your videos, man. I just want to say hi. And thank you very much for everything you're doing.
Thank you, man. I'm actually talking to a friend of mine in a video, and I told him Joseph is here. He's a big fan as well. Joshua Luke. It's Joseph. Hello.
Normal behaviour.
He's a friend of mine from Israel. Yeah. Thank you very much.
What have you been up to, Georgie?
Talking to Joseph.
About
Joseph
what?
believes in viruses.
Right, did you educate him? Did you educate him?
Educate him.
Good boy.
You should have been here before.
I've only just... Eh?
Oh, your middle class friends on the Extinction Rebellion.
Yeah, I don't know about friends.
Joseph don't know about the court in New York.
How you doing, Martin?
You've got to find out next time, Joseph.
I've been loving watching your correct political.
You like that, do you? Yeah. Oh, cheers, mate.
I care about you, man.
I mean, some of them are just so bloody cool.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Yeah, really.
It is proper unreal.
That ecologist you were talking, do you remember that ecologist? When you asked him
About the chemicals in the sky.
Yeah, and did he know who closed?
Yeah, and that one and all. None of them do. But I think they do. I think they do. They're all part of it, aren't they? I think they're all part of it. They know exactly what's going on. It's all a fucking demonic cult. I spoke to one gentleman. He wouldn't go on camera, but I had him on the microphone for about 15 minutes, and he was on about all sorts of stuff about one-eyed religions and shit. Like,
Events from this product in 75 years.
yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. Right, I'm gonna slip off to the lab.
But he was going there earlier on, and
Oh, but they've got immune anyway. The government, they've got their 1986 American vaccine treatment in America. And then most of them is similar here. And Syria is only 120 grand seed.
yeah, so there was, what else was interesting?
It's busy. That wasn't much, but...
I was thinking of having a book clear out. If I do get this place, I don't want to bring a lot. I just want to man the ground.
From the vaccine,
all I've got is a bed.
Not undisputed, and there was not one politician.
You soon get stuff.
There's about 3 or 4 of them. When you bring this Ukraine bullshit, and we go there flags out.
You won't get anywhere from, these Extinction Rebellion people. It's a cult.
It's like the Jews.
Yeah, it's
lockdown like that in China. It's surreal what they're doing there.
So I see what he's doing now. This fella down here, he's trying to explain it to him. He's trying to save him.
The Zionist guy?
No, the Christian fella.
Oh, right.
The one that said there's two sorts of Jews. You've got good Jews and bad Jews. And he means Messianic Jews or Orthodox, as he put it.
Is that what he means?
Well, yeah, that's what I pulled him up on. I said, what do you mean?
Don't wear a mask.
And that's what he means. Well, he weren't arguing the contrary, and I'm saying it. He weren't correcting me, you know? I suppose that's what he means.
Just get the book and, especially if you've got kids, I wouldn't want to bring my kid up, but you can't tell me just get I wouldn't want to bring my kid up with that fear, Joe. I couldn't do it. I'd be thinking of my kid. Then Boris is partying, sitting down, everyone else has to lock down, and I forgot about it. You know? And the other ones, during the pandemic, you had them going up and down the country with the politicians. Remember, one having an affair here, this one having this one here, this is Israel, England, I don't trust no
Modine on his scooter. No, that ski mask anywhere. Huh?
Did you feel that?
I'm going to turn the stream off, boys. I might come back in a little while, I don't know. But it might have been live for 2 hours. Yeah, I'll definitely be back in a minute anyway. Alright.